Innovating Education Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.
While some governments are taking measures to abolish illiteracy, it's still considered one of the biggest challenges of the 21st century. In Mozambique, where nearly half the population can't read and write, the government is trying to increase literacy rates, and the country's First Lady has taken a lead in raising funds and boosting the political will to ensure the right to education, particularly for women. Let's find out more in this report.
4 days a week, these women go to school in this small village in northern Mozambique to learn the 3 R's. Traditionally in Mozambique, girls used to be kept at home to help with the housework and younger siblings. But now, these women are making up for lost time.
It's really important because before I couldn't read anything or even sign anything. Now I can do basic paperwork, sign things and write my husband's name.
Literacy has been a top priority for the government since 1975, when the country gained its independence. At that time, the adult illiteracy rate was 93%, but now it's down to around 50%.
The level of illiteracy here is very high. The government has to reduce illiteracy and takes it very seriously. We want to bring it down to 30% at least by 2015.
The First Lady movement for literacy and adult education lobbies for women's rights to education. The country's First Lady believes that mothers are the front line in combating illiteracy.
Women and older people are with children all day, and it is the woman who educates children. If a woman is not educated, then it is difficult for her to educate her children.
These women work hard at their lessons, and their efforts are paying off. Even with basic literacy skills, it's easier to get medical care, information about HIV, and birth certificates for their children, for example.
When I started, I couldn't even write the number 2, but now I've learned to write 2 like this, and like this and this. It's a 2. I hadn't studied for many years, but since I've been coming to the literacy center, I've learned numbers and the alphabet.
For thousands of women, literacy means a new start. Even something as simple as buying or selling goods at the market becomes easier when you can read and write.
In the Spanish city of Seville, a group of Roma women managed to improve their literacy problem through studying plays. Inspired by Lorca, Rocio Montero, who didn't know how to read and write, is now the main actress in La Casa de Bernarda Alba. Let's hear her story.
These women have never been to see a play in a theatre. Until a year ago, they never dreamed of acting in a play either. They live in Europe's oldest Roma camp near Seville, and most of them are functionally illiterate. But now they're presenting their own production of Lorca's play The House of Bernard Alba.
I had stage fright. I couldn't stand still. We were all saying we couldn't do it. And I said, no, of course we can do it. Now we're here, we've got to. We can't give up now, let's go. We rehearsed for 2 months. This guy, he would say, hey, listen, just repeat the lines after me. And I said, okay, Antonio, first you say them and then I'll repeat them. Because me, I can't read, you know. So he said, well, just repeat them now, and then on stage, you'll just have to be brave. And since we've done that, the people who saw us up on stage, they've known that we know how to do something. We looked for parallels, improvisations based on their own lives, making them coincide with the lives of the characters in the play. And it was interesting to see that as they improvised about their lives, they found words that were very close to the script.
Putting the play on has changed the way these women see themselves.
The younger women more or less know the alphabet. They can read a few words from a text, but it doesn't really make sense to them. But now they want to start learning again. They want to pass their driving test and become more independent.
Bernarda, no hay que independerte. ¿Tenemos confianza o no tenemos confianza? No tenemos confianza.
Our minds have been opened. It was a big experience for us. When someone says, let's go on tour, your heart goes boom, boom. My God, I come from a Roma camp, but now I tell myself, we have a future.
This is the first time these women have earned any money. Now they aim to look after their families and be respected.
Washington, D.C., the capital of one of the most powerful countries in the world, is known to have a high rate of illiteracy. Learning World visited one of the oldest adult schools there, the Washington Literacy Council. Stay with us to find out more.
Surprisingly, Washington, D.C. has one of the highest rates of adult illiteracy in the USA. It's estimated that up to 36% of the inhabitants here are functionally illiterate. The Washington Literacy Council was founded more than 40 years ago. Most of the students are Afro-American, male and middle-aged, with the average reading age of a 9-year-old.
What's the A sound?
They can recognize simple words, but can't fill in a job application or read the newspaper.
Good. My students are all from Washington, D.C. Many of them dropped out of D.C. public schools at some point because they couldn't progress. A lot of them actually have their high school diplomas, which is shocking.
Okay, a couple of the players.
Some students have dyslexia. Others don't have English as a mother tongue. Some come from families with drug or alcohol addictions. Teenage pregnancy is another hurdle. These problems increase with poverty, and Washington is one of the poorest states in the USA.
When you can't read and write, everything is a puzzle to you. When you can't go to the supermarket, you can't pick up a book, or you can't catch the bus, you can't catch the train. You don't know, if you get lost, you don't know how to get yourself back on track when you don't know how to read and write. She can wash the cup. I couldn't do this in the past. So I'm thankful I can do this now and just hope I can just do better as time go on.
That's it for now. See you again next week.
Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.